This is the Duchess, Abby Messerly from the Hickory Street Hellraisers, and you're listening to Doggie Time on DentonRadio.com.
Oh, hi there.
Well, hi there, back to you. Don't jump the gun. Wait for it. Okay, here we go.
I would like you to know, Doggie, that I do not, nor have I ever, waddled anywhere.
He is Pawpaw.
Eclectic.
He's a Pawpaw.
He's an eclectic pawpaw.
I got to tell you, that takes me back. I've been running around this town for a long time. I was there before the Tomato was a parking lot.
Wowie zingo, Bone Doggie. I'm just filled with girlish anticipation.
That's funny, Karina. I myself am also filled with girlish anticipation.
Like a few hours later, I had the EP. We recorded it all in one afternoon.
Who'd you record it with?
It recorded with Metamorphosis.
Where's that at?
It's at my house now.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
It's doggy time. Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Hooray!
Oh, I'm sorry. That was The Warriors. That's the wrong movie.
Okay, when Doggy says, can you dig it, you're supposed to say, I can dig it.
Ah,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, here we go. Can you dig it?
We can dig it.
I missed it.
So you're not simpatico?
Only to a certain degree.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Do you imagine a guy getting that wrong?
Don't make this about male-female issues.
Why? I was taking the hit for the guys. I was throwing guys under the
Really?
bus.
Come on. Fair's fair. Paws up, my cats and kittens. You are listening to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com, where all the world's a stage, all the men and women merely players. We have our exits and our entrances, not to mention murder, mayhem, and good old-fashioned family fun. And one man in his time plays many parts. I myself, cats and kittens, will be playing the part of ringleader to this mess. I am your host and humble narrator, Bone Doggie. And we got some exciting news here at DentonRadio.com. We are about to launch the DentonRadio.com app. Can you dig it? I knew that you could. Which means if you have an iPhone, you will be able to listen to DentonRadio.com anywhere, anytime. So, as the song from the greatness of The Who so boldly declares, we're going mobile. And of course, this app is going to be interactive so that whenever any particular song comes up, it will, of course, display a picture of the artist and the group and a link to that artist's website. So that's kind of groovy. So, Denton artists. There is a tutorial out there in Cyberland, actually it's on YouTube, that explains what you need to do in order to get your picture up and get you a link to your website or Reverb Nation page or whatever site you're out there using. And if you go to YouTube and search Denton Radio Picture URL Tutorial, that will send you to a link there, and you can see a little video there by Brother Jake Laughlin of DentonRadio.com. Shows you what you need to do. Or you can email Brother Jake at DentonRadio.com, where you can get the lowdown, Brown, on what you need to do to get yourself up and running on this app. So we are happily running into the 21st century here, my cats and kittens. And speaking of getting your music on DentonRadio.com, let's hear some words of wisdom from the sage. Paws up, cats and kittens. You got Bone Doggie here. And I know a lot of you out there in Doggieland are wondering how you can get your music played on DentonRadio.com. Well, here's the lowdown, Brown. Every Thursday at 7 p.m., DentonRadio.com sets up shop in the back of Banter Bistro, which is located at 219 West Oak Street, to make ourselves available to get you and yours registered. The process is actually very simple, my cats and kittens. All you have to do is show up with a valid ID and a recorded CD or a CD of WAV files or MP3 files of your tunes and sign a wee contract that basically gives us the rights to play your music. And the answer to the $64,000 question is no, my cats and kittens. You are not giving us the rights to any of your music whatsoever. You're just giving us permission to play the songs and spread the gospel. Can you dig it? I knew that you could. Now, for more information, you can click on the little banner below. Visit us at DentonRadioblog.com. Scroll down the page till you see that little white question mark on the right-hand side that asks the magical question, how do I get my music on DentonRadio.com? That link will take you to a page that will fill you in on the whole story, Glory. So if you want to get your tunes out there on Denton Radio, meet us up at Banter Bistro every Thursday night at 7. That's 219 West Oak Street here in Denton. And it's always helpful, my cats and kittens, to give us a shout at contact@dentonradio.com to let us know you're coming. We're looking for you. We're looking for your tunes. So come on out, get signed up, and make this world a diggable place for Denton music. Can you dig it? I knew that you could. All right, my cats and kittens, time, which is so much an illusion on the Doggy Time Show, has presented itself as to say it's about time we introduce our special guest this week. This day and age, it is difficult to actually nail down a genre for particular bands, and you are witnessing firsthand the pot calling the kettle black here. But our guest this week is refreshingly, and I do mean this, you are refreshingly a true rock band. And I appreciate that, as a matter of fact. So they are, in no particular order, Tanya Blum and David Rios. And they are collectively known as Earthshine.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, how are y'all doing today?
Oh,
Doing great.
Thank
Living
you.
the dream as usual.
Thank you so much for coming out and doing this. I really do appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having us.
And like I said, I do consider you guys really a rock band. I mean, you meet folk bands and you meet emo bands and stuff like that.
How do you really feel about emo bands?
Well, you can't see it on the radio, but that was a felt shudder. But I consider you guys an actually true rock band, and I don't know, was that on purpose or just kind of happened that way?
I think it just kind of happened.
Yeah, it was just weird. I mean, it's just Tanya, when she first approached me with her songs, because she's the majority songwriter, and it's just, she would play her song. She played her songs on this acoustic, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I think it's kind of like the way marriage works. It's just like, the woman says something,
right?
But then the husband hears what he wants to hear. But in this particular situation, she's okay with what I heard. And then we can build off of that.
Oh, David. David, you're giving all our secrets out here on the radio.
However, I always have veto power.
She does have veto power.
Then it is truly a marriage, then.
It is.
I can take that. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for coming out. We will talk a little bit about Earthshine and how you guys got together and got started. But, it's about time right now that we actually are going to pull out what we do every week, which is a featured artist. And this week we're actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use a couple featured artists. And as a tribute to the spirit of this evening with Earthshine, we're going to go to the roots. We're going to walk down that road. So here we have a tune by brother Jeff Stone and a little blues, which is good for the soul. This number is called I Know You Don't Love Me. And you are listening to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com.
Lord, without you. But I know you don't want me around. I know you don't love me. Maybe someday you will. I know you don't love me. Maybe someday you will. I'm trying so hard to live right. Maybe I can change the way you feel. Lord, please help me to be strong, safe and sound. Lord, please help me to be strong, safe and sound. I don't want to live without you, but I know you don't want me around. Lord, please, won't you stick it out with me? Lord, please, won't you stick it out with me? I don't want to live without you. I'm a changed man, can't you see?
If you are a musician looking for a band or a band looking for a musician, Denton Radio's Musicians Free Classified could be just the thing you need. Email your heart's desire along with your phone number, email address, Facebook page, Reverb Nation page, Sonic Bids page, and any other pertinent information to musiciansclassified@dentonradio.com. And that's musiciansclassified@dentonradio.com. Or you can leave a post on the Doggy Time page on Facebook, and Bone Doggy will read them out on the Doggy Time show. And remember, the preferred method of travel is Facebook or email, so once again, we will not read out any phone numbers over the internet. And that's musiciansclassified@dentonradio.com.
Shuffle your feet. Well, it's a hard road walking down on easy street. It's alright.
Will the defendant please rise? Thomas J. Riddle, Jr., you are hereby charged with the malicious and willful murders of his lordship George P. Tirebiter, Lady Winifred Tirebiter, young Master Buckley Tirebiter, Cock Robin.
Your Honor, can I get a sidebar?
Roger Rabbit,
Approach the bench.
Eddie Valiant's brother.
Your Honor, if we could, I'd really like to wrap this thing up and get out of here.
You're in a hurry, counsel?
Yes. You see, there's a ton of live music going on in Denton this weekend, and I really don't want to miss any of it.
Go ahead, tell me more.
Rock, jazz, folk, indie, it's being played all over the place. You should come check it out.
Oh, I don't think I can pass that up. I'll tell you what, you do your thing, I'll take care of the rest.
Fedora Tonks, Peter Pettigrew, Albus Percival Wolfric Brian Dumbledore, some bird named Hedwig, Disco, and the offensive front four of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on or about the evening of September 3rd, 1977.
How does the defendant plead?
Defendant pleads guilty, Your Honor, and he's really, really sorry. Promises never to do it again, cross his heart, and hope to die.
Sounds good to me. Time served. Court's adjourned. We're out of here. Alright, I need to hit an ATM on the way.
And now, cats and kittens, it is time that we pay a little homage to the venues here in Denton that are our bread and butter and tell you what's going on in DentonRadio.com land.
And we need to remind you that this information was not solicited. We got it off the internet, so if it's not exactly correct, it's not our fault.
That's right. No responsibility, none claimed. All right, my cats and kittens. Now, if you have been paying any kind of an attention, you know that this week is pretty much taken up by 35 Denton. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
it is.
right. I know. So 35 Denton is out there, and by and large, for the most part, the doors are open at 9:30. And there is usually a $15 without wristband fee unless otherwise specified. Brother David, what is happening at Andy's this week?
Well, at Andy's on Thursday, March the 8th, we've got G-Side, Cities Aviv, J Fresh, and Fab Deuce. On Friday night, March the 9th, we've got High Places, Sleepover, Peopleodian, and Museum Creatures.
And at Banter on Thursday, March 8th, we've got David Ramirez, Buxton, Holy Fiction, Jeremy Bueller.
Looks good to me. Jeremy Bueller. I think
Bueller.
Jeremy Bueller's day off. Okay.
On Friday, March 9th, we've got Juliana Barwick, Beth Ann, Sam Robertson, and Jesse Fry.
I will say one thing about Denton 35 is the names are a lot easier to pronounce than they usually are. So I'm just throwing that out there, okay? Now, Saturday, March 10th at Banter during this weekend, Banter is going to host DentonRadio.com's wristband-free 100% local showcase. Isn't that exciting?
That's awesome.
Takes your breath away, I'm telling you. It's going to be all local acts, and almost everybody, in fact, everybody on this list here is a Denton Radio alum. Let's see, it's going to be 11 o'clock in the morning. We got Brother Richard Gilbert. At noon, My Kick Drum Heart. 1 o'clock, the lovely Simone Nicole. And 2 o'clock, our own Karina Michaela. 3 is Ashley Gatta. 4 o'clock is Zach Balch. And 5 o'clock is Sonar Lights. And this whole shindig is going to be hosted by your humble narrator, Bone Doggie. And we're going to kick it off at 11 o'clock in the morning and go until they throw us out. It's going to be all local music, and it's going to be a blast. So it'll be a lot of fun. Y'all come down there.
Good show.
No cover, no wristband.
And that's on Saturday.
That's on Saturday.
So people who've hung out at Dan's on Thursday and Friday should probably come by.
They probably should if they survived it.
Right. So if you survived Typhoon on Blackwater Opera or Noonday Moonstar on Dan's on Thursday, March the 8th, swing by on Friday for $25 without a wristband, and then KXT 91.7 FM presents John Vanderslice, apparently a favorite of Tanya's.
Apparently. You're blushing. I cannot believe that. She turned red.
No.
I love him.
We'll fan you off there, honey. Put it back on.
And then Doug Burr, the Hope Trust, and Danny Rush and the Dee-Dees.
I wonder if that's Danny Rush and the Double D's.
I'm just reading what's on the page.
I'm just thinking. It could be Double D's there, which brings a whole new light to what that might be.
Means it might be a show I need to go to.
It might be. Tell you, what we should consider it our journalistic duty to go check that out and then report next week as to whether we were disappointed or not.
If it's Danny Rush and the Dee-Dees, you guys are going to be awfully disappointed.
Yes, but if it's the Double D's, it might be interesting. Just throwing that out there again. Okay. What's happening at Haley's? Save us.
On Thursday night at Haley's, $20 without a wristband, you get designer drugs.
All right.
Wow.
All right. You don't get that very often. Not at Haley's, anyway.
All right. If you survive the designer drugs, you also get Yadef, M3SA, and Shook Knight.
Okay.
Shook Knight.
That's what it says.
Sounds like an evening of family entertainment there.
Sounds like a Crips party.
On Friday night, $25 without a wristband, you get the Indieverse presents The Hood Internet, Class Actress, The Burning Hotels, and Million Young. Other venues are Denton Square Donuts, J&J's, Mellow Mushroom, Rubber Gloves, Sweetwater, The Lab, the Abbey Underground.
Yes.
More info, including schedules and day passes, go to 35denton.com.
That's right. If you want to find out more about this mess, go to 35denton.com. And speaking of the Abbey Underground, shameless plug time, Thursday, March 8th is wristband free. You've got Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers, along with Devin Edelman's Big Band. The show's going to start probably about 10:30. There is no wristband, no cover, and one hell of a night.
But also at the Abbey Underground, if you want to swing by around 6:30, there are poker tournaments. So if anyone needs to work up a couple of bucks for their bar tab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Or lose their entire bar tab.
Well, actually, no. It's a free roll, so there's no buy-in, and if you win the tournaments, it's a $25 prize.
This sounds like a voice of experience.
Oh yes, I enjoy poker.
So you got that going on. So Abbey Underground, go up early, play some poker, hang around, and then watch Bone Doggie and the Hickory Street Hellraisers and Devin Edelman's Big Band burn the house down, because we will be. I don't know if you've seen the Big Band or not. It's like 18 people. They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen them. They're great.
That's a toe tapper. That is a toe tapper. I love watching those guys.
Those are
they're
brilliant musicians.
They're a Count Basie tribute band, I think. Yeah.
You could say that.
That's how they've introduced themselves.
Well, they work from the Count Basie book.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're schooled. Well, we're not going to hold that against them. Really not. We've had this discussion on Doggy Time before about.
I think most of them are UNT students.
Okay. Well, we're not going to hold that against them.
I'm glad we went to school across town.
You guys are going to get in so much trouble. Now, we would be remiss if we did not mention one of the things that is near and dear to our heart, and that, of course, is the open mics here in town. And we know that Tuesday night, Matt Grigsby is still doing his open mic up at Crossroads, which you and I have played once or twice, and that's always a blast.
Oh, that little bar on Elm Street.
It's a little bar, and really, cats and kittens, if you can, make it out there Tuesday night. Matt is struggling. He's working really hard to get this open mic off the ground, and we need to support it out there because it's a nice venue. They got whiskey. I mean, what more?
That's always important.
I'm telling you, what more could you ask for?
I know people that like whiskey.
I think I might know a couple too. Yeah.
I've never known whiskey to be a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. So, I've known it to kind of muddle up the paperwork afterwards, though. You know what I'm saying?
There's also some really good musicians there, though.
There's some excellent musicians there, and what's often funny, if not, is that a lot of those musicians you can see on Thursday night up at Banter's open mic, which is where I think I met both you guys at Banter.
Yes.
And I think I met David at one of the open mics when you showed up out of the blue with her one night.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, bang, but you and I have a darker history than that.
We do?
I think we do.
Am I
No,
this
you
is a history I'm unaware of?
It was the whiskey.
She's fidgeting, cats and kittens. She is fidgeting.
I'm concerned about this dark history.
This is awesome. Well, we'll make something up then, and edit it together or something. That's right, everything.
Jeez.
Now she's breaking out into a cold sweat. This has been one of the most
uncomfortable
and yet profitable gig schedules that we've done on the radio show so far. This is awesome. And Tanya will be killing me as soon as we turn the microphones off. And we've also
just a little maiming.
Just a little maiming. Okay, that's good because I do have to do another show. The open mic at Banter, the list goes up at 7 o'clock.
And if you're not there before 7, you're not going to get on the list.
That's right. It fills up like in 5 minutes. It's like a feeding frenzy. It's amazing. It's like, taking raw meat and throwing it into a bunch of sharks. And, and we've had people trampled, as a matter of fact. And so I've got to edit all this mess together. There's one more that I know of. Well, there's two more. One, the Garage has still got their open mic that goes on.
On Monday nights?
It's on Monday night, yes. And apparently you have to register online.
Yes, I remember that. I did that with a band a long time ago. So.
You have done that one. I wasn't sure whether they were still doing it, but apparently they are.
Oh, okay.
But you got to go online for that one. And the other one is apparently the Love Shack is doing an open mic on Wednesday night, and I think sign up for that is 8 o'clock.
How long have they been doing that one?
Not very long, just a couple months, I think. I heard about it about a month ago is when I heard it. It took me 3 weeks to verify it, and I did verify it. I actually called up there during dinner rush.
I bet they loved that.
She said she talked real fast. She was very informative, but she talked real fast. I gotta go. Okay, so that was it. So that's what we have for the gigs and the open mics. Like I say, Denton 35 is going on this week. Go to 35denton.com and get more information on that, and then support Denton, support the local music that's going on, and just support the town. There's a lot of out-of-towners that are going to be in this week, and we need to show them what kind of place we got here, and it is a special place. Am I right?
Definitely special.
It is.
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, now I think we're going to take a little walk down the heavy side of the road and play a tune by a group called Bear Bear. Have you heard these guys?
I have not.
I have not.
Bear Bear is another, they are a rock band. They are a rock band. A little on the heavy side, and what's really interesting is their lead singer, and forgive me, his name escapes me right now, but I believe he is fixing to do his 3rd or 4th tour. He's a chopper pilot. He's going back to gallantly serve his country, so our thoughts and prayers are out with him. And we're going to give a little voice here to Bear Bear's tune, Baritone, and you are listening to DentonRadio.com.
It's about to start. Cross your lines and light your spark. Be brave and follow your heart. It's the part that you need to save, and we exist as waves in time, adding up and amplifying. And when it crests, does it tingle your spine like it rockets through and lights up high? and follows the bold. Blink on, she's too fast to hold. Take heart, beauty tends to unfold. A gifted end to the dark and cold. Let it shine from the depths of your soul. Force lines from magnetic poles. Bring us together in pardoned and whole. An electric field across this globe.
All right, that was Bear and Baritone. Now, cats and kittens, it is time to have a little interview and a little chin wag with our guests here, Earthshine. We've got Tanya Blum and David Rios. Say hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And basically, we've been wanting to get you guys in here and talk about a few things for a while now. Your roots. I know a little bit about Tanya. I know nothing about your background, David. Where you come from? When did you start? And
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and I moved to Texas about 16 years ago. As you can tell, my accent is completely gone. So
you do.
You sound like a native Texan.
Yes, I do
Well,
sound like a
there's
native
a
Texan
Plano
nowadays.
swang. There's a Plano
that
twang.
Plano
in there.
twang, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as my music, I started playing guitar around 1987, and my goal was just to be the next Metallica. So I do have a lot of, roots in metal when
Right.
it comes to my playing style.
Right.
But that kind of, grew as I started taking formal music education and classical
So
guitar lessons.
You took classical guitar.
Yeah, I started with Carlo Pezzamenti out of TWU.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, good old Carlo.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Yes.
Changed my
Amazing.
approach to guitar playing, and actually my whole experience at TWU changed my approach to music
Right.
as a whole. So it became easier to incorporate other styles into my playing.
But you knew how to play before you walked in there.
Into TWU, well, I knew how to play how I played.
Right.
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 But
Well,
but,
because
at the
this
time.
is a discussion that we often have.
Mhm.
Is schooled musicians. We've met a lot of them that do not know how to jam.
Me.
Right. Well, I was the
There you go. There you go.
Actually, walking to TWU, I was the reverse. I was the one who knew how to jam.
Right.
I just couldn't read off the page.
Right. Right.
So when I was part of the Dixieland band that John Floor used to direct.
Right.
Yeah. So and he stuck me on a banjo, and I was like, really? I'm playing a banjo?
I would pay money to see that.
Well,
I would.
while trying to improvise on a banjo and just using only 4 strings, I was like,
Oh my God.
that was hurting.
New
but-
Earthshine song is gonna have a banjo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting a guitar-tuned banjo. So,
Well, how long ago was that you went through school up there?
well, I transferred to TWU in '98, and then I graduated after I was able to accomplish a couple of things in life. To,
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Find a reason to spend it on school as opposed to luxuries like food and rent.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
Those aren't
that.
necessary.
So I graduated in '05.
Now you, on the other hand, have been playing music since you were that
Knee
tall.
high.
Knee
Yeah.
high.
I started on piano, which I've never enjoyed playing, but I can play a little bit. And then I started learning flute when I was 12. And I did flute through college and grad
Right.
school.
Right.
And yeah. And
Yeah.
I learned guitar when I started studying music therapy.
And hanging out with this one.
Yeah, that's where we met actually. Whenever we were both in the program at TW for music therapy.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So you're both in the music therapy program.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, I was coming back from a short sabbatical. Can students take sabbaticals? But I was returning from a short sabbatical.
I'm currently on a sabbatical from school for about 30 years now, and so you met in TWU's this music therapy class, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. And did she bring you songs? You mentioned that. Did she just bring you
we didn't
songs,
start
or?
playing together till years later.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, it was a 10-year gap from the time. Well, we actually did one performance. I solicited her flute talents.
Which are considerable, by the way.
Thank you.
Doggie has done the same thing. So.
To help me with a performance at the Little Chapel when I was in the guitar ensemble.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then it rained, and Christine, the other flutist that I knew, it rained, so she couldn't make it out.
I'm going to melt.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was pretty torrential that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she's like, I can't make it. So it was just me and Tanya up there. So that was our actual first performance together.
Oh, how
but
prophetic.
That's funny that you brought that up. I didn't even remember it until
Oh,
you
really?
said it.
Yeah.
That's
The
wow.
rainstorm, and there you are, and then so years later.
What did we do? Scarborough? I think we did Scarborough Fair or something. It was really.
Yeah.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So but yeah. No, what actually happened is we played. I was in a Rage Against the Machine tribute band.
I came out to see him play
at a benefit, a Bands for Boobs benefit. That
I like that.
Yeah, it was it was breast
good cause.
Cancer awareness. Oh,
right.
Yes.
Couple good
I'm down
causes.
to support the breasts. I've applied for the job of bra before.
How did that work out for you?
Not very successful.
Well, that's a hard gig. It's a support position.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So.
But she was, she had mentioned that she was writing songs and stuff like that, and if I knew anybody, and I was like, well, if you ever want to put a band together, just give me a call.
Cool.
And she did, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Now what am I gonna do?
Well, you're gonna have to go do it then, aren't
Right.
you? Yeah,
So.
exactly. That's really interesting because when I first met the two of you, I was struck by the wide range. I mean, Tanya's over here, and then this was the first time I met you, and I thought that guy's a metalhead.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought.
My writing style is very folky, and his playing style is very rock, heavy metal.
Right.
So
I was really interested to see what was going to happen when you guys got up there, and you did not disappoint. It was very interesting. It was really, it struck me as being just a rock band. This is the makings of a rock band.
Well, especially after we got more people in the band.
Right.
When it's not just him and me, you can really hear the rock.
Right. I guess you found a drummer.
Mm-hmm. Danny joined us.
It was a powerful place. But the drummer's name was, what was his name again?
Danny Burgess.
Danny Burgess. And is he still with you?
Yes.
He's still gigging with you. That's the guy that's sat back in the corner that I've never met before.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, we've got a tune here with Danny on it. Which tune's got Danny playing on it?
He's on all of them.
Yeah.
He is on all of them?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got a little CD here, and we need to pick a tune from Earthshine. What do you want to hear?
So let's do Midnight off of track 4 there, because that's
All
actually
right.
our first incarnation with a real bass player.
Yeah,
All
that was
right,
Ed
okay.
O'Casey, the bass player that we really started forming our sound with.
And this is at the Prairie House.
Yes,
Right.
when they have a
They have an open mic throughout the summer that Guitar George runs.
Good old George.
Yep.
We all love George.
Yep.
Love George. I've spent a lot of money with George.
But Midnight was actually the first song we had written with Ed.
and
Oh, very cool.
the bass line is that he came up with for this song completely changed the whole sound of the song, and when we lost him, that was the song we were concerned about most.
Oh, okay. Well, here we have, straight out of the Cat's Pajamas, as it were, the version of Midnight, live at the Prairie House. This is Earthshine, and you are listening to DentonRadio.com. Can you dig it?
Yep, I can dig
We can
it.
dig it.
Oh, Wendy, I knew
Did
that
it
you
wrong again.
Push the button, Max.
bad times. We had times. And I wanna start over. Let's be
All right, that was Midnight live at the Prairie House. That was awesome. That's an awesome tune. Now, Tanya, you do music therapy.
Yes.
What in blazes is music therapy?
That is the most frequently asked question, including the expletive, though the expletive changes. Music therapy, the best way to say it is using music as a therapeutic tool to provide some kind of change. So I work with children with special needs.
Right.
I'm the music therapist for Dallas ISD.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
yes, I just got this job. I'm very pleased with it.
Education's paying off, is it?
Finally.
All right.
I'm still paying on that education, but I'm finally getting paid to pay it back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I work with the special education program with kids with autism and cerebral palsy and Down syndrome and whatever else fits under that umbrella.
Right.
And I basically teach them through music. So the younger kids, they're still learning colors and numbers and letters. We do songs. A great example, one that I always use, is how did you learn your ABCs?
A, B, C,
You learned it through song.
D, F, G.
Yeah, exactly like that. So we do a lot of teaching songs. So everything in the school district has to be academically based.
Right.
So it's either got to specifically be about their academics or their behavior or their social skills, because the behavior and social skills are going to directly affect their academics, obviously.
Right.
So I do whatever is required for individual students to help them achieve in the school.
So as you're teaching these kids, depending on their abilities, it depends on whether they're learning how just to sing, or do you actually teach them to play instruments?
No. I'm not teaching them music.
You're not
I'm
teaching
them.
music.
I'm teaching them concepts through music. So they're playing instruments. I've got all kinds of handheld percussion instruments.
Right.
I've got. I even let them strum on my guitar sometimes.
Really?
And so they're active in the music making process, but we're not teaching music. We're teaching academic concepts.
This is an academic concept, which is explain that in layman's terms.
Well,
Numbers, letters,
well,
colors.
in an academic environment, it's usually you work with special ed kids.
Yes.
Right. All right. So special ed kids have specialized needs
Right.
or services that have been identified,
Right.
and then the music therapy is going to be the vehicle by which something, one of their goals or objectives is going to be addressed. So let's say you have a kid that needs to work on his ability to maintain attention to task.
Right.
The activity will use a musical activity to achieve paying attention. So, let's say you want
to do
him
the actual exercise
to perform. Right.
Put it
So
to music.
let's say the goal is that you want a kid to actually be engaged with
Right.
with an authority figure,
Right.
teacher, therapist, whoever, for let's say 5 seconds. And then
And that sounds like a short period of time, but some of my kiddos cannot stay focused for even 5 seconds.
Oh my God! Have you met the Hickory Street Hellraiser?
that's why they make whiskey.
That's exactly why they make whiskey.
But
Yeah.
Some of the other things that we'll do, some of the children that I work with are not necessarily that low functioning. Some of
Right.
them might be higher functioning. They just have behavioral issues, and so
Right.
we might work on appropriate behaviors in certain situations through songwriting or lyric analysis.
Oh, very
one
cool.
one of the kids that I worked with was a 9-year-old girl who is academically on level with her peers, but she could not function in a regular classroom because of
Right.
her behavior, and part of it was due to her medication and all kinds of other issues. But so a lot of the things that we did were songwriting and lyric analysis, and one of the songs that we wrote together was a song that basically said, when I feel like this, so when I feel angry, instead of hitting somebody or throwing a desk, which this 9-year-old girl did do, threw a desk across a room.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Wow.
So when I get angry, instead of throwing desks, I should instead do this. And we put, and it was
And you
all
put
in.
that to music.
Yeah, it's all
Then
her
to a
own
musical
words.
background.
And yeah, it's all her own words. She wrote the words. I just helped her put it to music.
I see.
Yeah.
The musical product is not the goal.
Right,
It's
right.
a
It's-
non-musical.
Yes.
Hence
product.
music therapy.
Right.
I mean, that's fascinating. Nobody's really ever explained it, and they're very responsive to this.
Who's not responsive to music?
I can't think of anybody. I can't think of some
Actually, I
people.
take that back. I did do an assessment on one child who was not responsive, did not want anything to do with it,
Really?
did not care about the music, did not want to play the instruments, so obviously he doesn't qualify for music therapy.
Why don't you put him in politics then?
Got to be better than the Republican field they have now.
Fit right in there. I knew you were going to walk down that. I knew. Before you even showed up today, I thought, you know what, Rios is going to throw a Republican joke. I'm behaving myself, and I can edit that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it in there.
My rep's not on the line.
So, Mr. Fifth Rail,
Mm-hmm.
you don't do musical therapy. You do roller derby.
Yeah, well, I did study music therapy, but life kind of got in the way, so I just needed to get out of school.
Propelled you right into roller
Well,
derby.
it's just... Well, no, actually, I only got into roller derby about 2 years ago as a fan.
How did you get involved in roller derby?
Well, it was
Fascinating.
just by happenstance that
Right.
it was just a weekend with my daughter, and we were just, I was looking online, and I was thinking of something to do, and I had remembered that, roller derby's in the area. So it was just, I went online.
It was kind of new at the time, though, wasn't it? in
No,
the area?
actually it hasn't. It's been around for 7 years, the Dallas Derby
The
Devils.
Derby Devils have been
Yes.
around for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, Derby has been around in Dallas for a while.
Right.
And so just by happenstance, I was looking online, and there it was that night in North Richland Hills at the NITEC Center, Dallas Derby Devils. So I was like, let's go do this.
You don't really picture roller derby in North Richland Hills, I think.
No,
but,
no, yeah, because North Richland Hills just isn't that dangerous as a
it's,
town.
it's right next to the Walmart there.
Yeah. Well, it's right by the Birdville ISD office, so it's just like, how do they pull this off?
Really?
But,
Somebody knew somebody in the zoning commission, I'm
but, yeah.
thinking.
But yeah, they skate out of the NITEC Center, which is actually a hockey rink and a volleyball court and this multi-purpose thing.
Right.
But anyway, we just drove down there because I had heard about it through. We went to go see this band that opened for the Misfits, a local band, Scary Cherry and the Bang Bangs. And
It's a great name.
I love that.
They're a great band. They're a lot of fun.
Scary Cherry and the
Bang
Bang Bang.
Bang,
There you
yeah.
go.
That's
Okay.
even better.
I'm ripping that off.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, they call themselves Shock Pop. But two of their members were actually derby girls.
Right.
So so we went down there and I looked around and I was just like, okay, beautiful women, roller skating, tight clothes, tattoos. I had not found a moral dilemma yet. And my daughter was just fascinated about it because it's just all these women just doing this great thing. And so I was just like, we got to do this again. So then I brought my friend the next month,
Right.
and we just kind of just fell into it, and then went to some of their extracurricular things, and they were very receptive to interacting with fans. They're very appreciative of that people were interested. It's just like they're doing this really great thing. You know, it's just like I'm in awe with them, enamored with them. You know, every good thing.
It's pure entertainment. It's all in good fun.
And but the thing is, it's on
exciting.
the level, so it's real competition.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely real.
You do not fool around with that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I understand you're an announcer.
Yes. So
really
that
awesome.
first season I was a fan. Then
Right.
then I hooked up my daughter with one of the teams to kind of like be a valet for them, so she can kind of get the ins and outs.
Right.
You know, getting her on skates. I was like, oh, she can do some physical activity because the PE classes at school was basically just sitting on the wall, just killing an hour.
Yeah.
So and then we kind of just helped out with the production and track maintenance. So she goes out. She's got a roll of tape and a Swiffer. So every time there's a timeout, she's either cleaning the floor. And then in between halves, I was just like, you know, I kind of got in with the comp. So I was just like, well, let me earn this. So I started sweeping the floors. You know.
Oh God, I can only picture that. Okay, this is sweat. This is cool. This is sweat. This is cool. Oh, this is blood. Ew.
Actually, not a lot of blood happens. It's just.
I'll bet it's monumental when it does happen.
It
though.
does. So, but the thing is, they kind of just welcomed.
Now,
so then, all right. So.
Go ahead.
Well, you asked about the announcing.
Yes.
So with the new league that formed, and this was sometime late last summer.
Right.
So they invited me out to announce. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I know English. I mean, so.
Even from somebody from Brooklyn, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So
Maybe you should tell the audience about your magnificent paddleboard.
Oh, the motherboard.
Oh yeah, I've seen this thing. Yes, I have.
Well, I mean, I could probably drive the Star Trek Enterprise.
And he uses every single one of the pedals during our show.
During the set, yes.
Oh, since we've been talking about all this, we need to hear another example. What song are we going to do here
all
next?
Right. Well, why don't we do Stupid Waltz?
I love Stupid Waltz. I listened to that a while ago just because I saw the name. All right. Well, all right, my cats and kittens, we are going to give Earthshine a spin here and do their epic tune, Stupid Waltz. You're listening to DentonRadio.com.
Tried to call you once again. I believed you when you said you wanted. How stupid. You came over late last night. I believed you when you said you missed me. How stupid. 'Cause you don't give a damn, and you proved that more than once. Waited and waited, but you never grew up. And your ego was so big, I think it fooled even you into thinking you love me. How stupid. All those years, thought things were good. 'Cause you don't give a damn, and you prove that more than once. Waited and waited, but you never grew up. And your ego's so big, thinking fools even you into thinking you love me. How stupid. Round and round till we fall out of time. Then I'll do that stupid waltz somebody new. How stupid. How stupid. How stupid. How stupid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was Earthshine and Stupid Waltz recorded live at Banter. And Earthshine, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out and doing this.
It was a
Thank you
blast.
for having us.
Really appreciate it. I really just had a great time. And you had something you wanted to plug. Do
Oh,
it.
well, again, with the roller derby, March the 10th, Dallas Deception season finale over at the Lone Star Indoor Sports over on Shady Oaks and Woodrow, just before it becomes Colorado. If
Here
you're
in
heading
Denton.
towards the mall in
Here in
Denton,
Denton.
Texas.
Denton Derby.
And then also March 24th and 25th at the NITEX Center in North Richland Hills, the Dallas Derby Devils will be sponsoring the 2012 Clover Cup tournament, which will be featuring teams from Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Florida.
Gracious.
2-day tournament. Tickets are $35 for the 2 days. If you want to do a one-day pass, it's $25. But they also have a special deal. If you buy a season pass for, I think it's $75, they'll give you the Clover Cup tickets for $5, and that could all be
Whoa.
done. And that can all be done at DerbyDevils.com.
DerbyDevils.com.
If you
That's
want
the
Dallas
man.
Deception tickets, go to DeceptionDerby.com or look up both leagues on Facebook, and you can find links that way.
And remember, cats and kittens, deception is male, devils is female.
Right.
Kind of fitting that. I like that.
And I'm Movato, the voice
Movato.
of deception.
Well, again, thank you guys so much for coming out. And we are going to say goodnight
Good
to
night.
the kids, Gracie.
Bum, ba-dum, bum,
Bum,
bum.
bum.
Good night, sweetheart. Yeah. Oh, we're not going there?
No, we're not going to walk down that way.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to stick to the script. It's already got nuts. We used to have a script. I don't know what happened to it.
Come on, how many Shana and I references do you got?
Only 3. This
Right.
is not a union show. I'm sorry. And I don't want to fight with ASCAP next week. So,
Excellent.
okay.
As a friend of mine says, ASCAP is the mob.
I know. Oh, that's funny. Well, as per usual, my cats and kittens, we'd like to invite you to keep listening to DentonRadio.com and tune in for a new Doggy Time show this next week. And if you want to listen to Doggy Time anytime, you could just click on the Doggy Time button on the DentonRadio.com player, or give him any insight that he can get on roller derby and music therapy. We're gonna try to combine those and make it some kind of derby therapy or something.
Derby music therapy.
Derby music
a
therapy.
very
Musical
cathartic-
derby therapy.
Could be cathartic.
It's a cathartic activity.
Now,
They
we were
should
not
make
going
a
to talk about
musical
religion.
derby.
We
They did.
They did? They made a musical
There's
derby?
actually a roller derby musical.
Nice.
So, back to the real world. Tell your friends, cats and kittens, about the Doggy Time show. And I'm not even going to read this anymore. Forget it.
All right.
We had a great time. More importantly, go out this week, support Denton, support 35 Denton. There's a lot of folks coming in from out of town.
A lot of good local music,
A
too.
lot of good music in there. Yes, Backwater Opera. Some of those folks, Hairs on the Mountain is going to be out there, I think, and some of our other buddies. So we need to support the whole thing. Let the world know what Denton has to offer. We support local here at DentonRadio.com. We hope you do too. And now we're going to go out with one of my favorite tunes. I don't know if you've heard this or not. It's Levi Cobb and the Big Smoke and When the Devil Comes Over. And you are listening to Doggy Time on DentonRadio.com. Can you dig it?
We can
We can dig it.
I knew that you could.
I did it.
Nobody knows just where or why, but he's coming down here with a shotgun to take your life. They say he comes to town at night, and the running hide, no doubt about it. You're gonna die, and all this talking gets us nowhere, even slower. The whole town's hoping that the devil passes over. I heard he lives up on a hill, and from his place up on the hillside, he does his will. Is he the devil, or is he a man? I ain't ever seen a man who can't